A and B have a similar track?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. And then C, that's going to be the wound to the cheek, right?
Yeah, the left cheek.
That's the one that's going to end in the spinal cord.
Correct.
All right. And that is the one in which you were able to recover a projectile and/or fragments, correct?
Yes.
Did you know, or do you know, the caliber of the gun allegedly used in this case? Do you have any information on that?
No.
Okay. So you don't know anything about the gun that was, say, even recovered in this case?
I don't know anything about the gun.
Okay. All right. So when we were talking earlier about stippling and how there's many variables, you can't tell us any of that information, such as how that firearm excretes stippling, or the type of firearm and how that affects stippling, or how much gunpowder's in the cartridge. You can't tell us any of that.
No, I can't tell you anything about the firearm itself.
Okay. All right. Now, C, that is downward, correct?
Yes.
All right. All right. And front to back and left to right.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they all seem to be fairly consistent based on what you're testifying to today?
Yeah, the only difference between A, B, and C was that C was downward.
Okay. Right. And A and B upward.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And you're not giving us any opinion on the positioning of where Ms. Bass was?
No.
And you're not giving us any opinion on the positioning of the shooter and/or the firearm?
Yeah, I can't.
You can't?
No, I
Right.
can't tell you the position of either one.
Sorry, just want to make sure I had heard you. All right. Now, basically, you are given the body, you conduct your autopsy. You're limited by what you can tell us. You tell us what you see, right?
Correct.
All right. And would you agree with me that people can move around, guns can move around, it can affect?
Yes,
Many
people can move
variables.
around.
Okay. In this case, you didn't see any evidence of any defensive wounds by Ms. Bass, correct?
No.
And any opinion, can you render any opinion about the shots being about all at the same time, or can you give any opinion on that?
I can't tell you which one was first and which one was last.
Okay. All right, and finally, I'm just going to step away and ask counsel real quick, but finally, for my questions, do you remember also when we took your deposition, do you remember me asking you if there were any errors in the report, which we now know there were, and you said no? Do you remember that?
Probably sounds like something I would say, but then there were mistakes, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. Let me have a moment. Dr. Riley, thank you so much. We don't have any other questions for you.
Dr. Riley, those two wounds, A and B, that were incorrectly labeled slightly upward and slightly downward, correct? Or they were?
Yeah, they were both. The corrected version is that they were going upward.
Okay. And you know that because you can physically see the entrance wound and where the exit wound is, and you can measure on the body where it is, correct?
Projection leading. Stay.
Is there a way to just determine that just by looking and measuring from the body where the wounds are, the entrance wound and exit wound is?
Yeah, and that's documented in the report.
Okay. So nothing changes from how the wounds occurred, where they went, or the range of the firing?
No.
All right. Does it change your opinion in any way, whether it was slightly upward or slightly downward, as far as what the wounds did, whether they were fatal or whether they were immediately incapacitating, or anything at all to do with the wounds?
No, it just doesn't change my opinion on the cause of death.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, you can sit down, Doctor, thank you.
Thank you.
Is he released from his subpoena?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
Call your next witness.
State will call Misha Romeo.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Kiss that, miss. Good afternoon. If you would please introduce yourself and spell your name for us.
My name is Misha Romeo, Mycesha-Romeo.
All right, and just a reminder to keep your voice up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Ms. Romeo, if you can keep your voice up and speak into the microphone so we can hear you, okay?
Okay.
Ms. Romeo, where are you currently employed?
University of South Florida,
What do you do for the University of South Florida?
Director of Human Resources,
How long have you been working for USF as the Director of Human Resources?
January of 2024,
Where do you currently live?
in Tampa.
Yes.
My actual address?
You live in Tampa?
Yes.
Okay. And are you married?
Yes.
And who's your husband?
Richard Romeo II.
Okay. Do you know the defendant in this case, Jermaine Bass?
Yes.
How do you know him?
He was married to my sister-in-law,
Sister-in-law. Okay. And who's your sister-in-law?
Shirley Bass.
All right. So you are married to Shirley Bass's brother?
Yes.
And what is his name again?
Richard Romeo II.
Richard Romeo II. Okay. How long have you known Shirley Bass?
Altogether, since she was 3, but
Okay.
really since 2008.
All right. And you know Mr. Bass, Jermaine Bass? How long have you known him?
Since Shirley was about 16 or 17. I don't know the exact year.
Okay. So you knew them when they got together and first became a couple?
Yes.
All right. And did you get to know, or were you at times close to them in the family?
I wouldn't say close.
Okay. But you knew them and you knew the children?
Yes.
And you knew Jayla and Jermaine?
Yes.
And would you see them at family get-togethers?
Yes.
Going back to August of 2022, specifically the night of August 29th of 2022, the night this happened, did you see Shirley Bass that day?
Yes.
Where did you see her?
At the dinner at Ruth Chris.
What was this dinner about at Ruth's Chris?
It was my older sister-in-law's birthday,
Okay. And who is that?
Marlene Gadson.
Okay. So Shirley Bass has an older sister,
Yes.
and her name is Marlene Gadson,
Yes.
and she's got an older brother named Richard Romeo II.
Yes.
And is that this all her siblings?
She has another older brother, Prince Romeo.
Prince Romeo. Okay. Was he there?
No.
All right. What time? So this dinner was for Marlene. Who all went to this? Do you recall?
Marlene, Shirley, a friend of Marlene's, a friend from church, and I think another couple.
Okay. Was China Gadson there?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. What about your husband? Was he there?
Yes.
Okay. What time did this dinner start?
I can't tell you for sure, maybe 7:30.
Okay. Was when Shirley Bass showed up, was Jermaine Bass with her?
No.
All right. How was Shirley's behavior that night at the dinner?
It was fine.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary with her?
No.
Was she communicative and talkative and just hanging out with everybody the same way she always did?
Yes, I saw her smile.
Okay. Anything about that night that would give you any reason to believe something was going on in Shirley Bass's home?
No.
How long do you believe you all were at that dinner?
A couple of hours.
Were you there when Shirley left?
Yes.
And did you see who she left with?
I believe she left with China. They walked out at the same time. We
Okay.
were still waiting for our car.
Okay. And when she left, did everything appear normal with Shirley?
Yes.
Was it in fact a nice dinner that you all had that night?
Yes.
You all took pictures?
Yes.
When did you find out what happened after dinner that night?
The next morning.
Okay. What did you do when you found out?
Objection, relevance? Relevance.
Judgment reproach?
Sure.
So when you found out, did you go to the hospital?
Yes.
All right, were you able to see Jermaine Bass, JJ? At
Yes.
the hospital? What was his condition when you got there?
He was in critical condition.
Okay. Was he in fact in a coma?
Yes.
Tell me about, so you knew JJ. I'm going to call him JJ just to make it clear that we're not talking about the defendant, right?
Sure.
Were you aware of JJ's relationship with Jayla?
Yes.
Did they have a very good relationship?
Yes.
Objection, relevance? Sustained.
Judge, may we approach on this?
No, I'm gonna overrule the objection. Go ahead.
You're going to go ahead? Okay.
Yep.
Did they have a good relationship?
Yes.
Did you ever see them fighting?
No.
Did you ever see Jermaine angry at Jayla at any time? Or violent with her at any time?
No.
Okay. Now, since this occurrence, since this what happened on that night, have you followed up with JJ's care and know what's happening with JJ?
Yes.
Okay. How is JJ doing today?
He has some struggles, but he's recovered very well considering.
Okay. Is the bullet that was shot into him, is it still inside his head?
Yes.
They were not able to take it out?
No.
As a result of that, has that limited Jermaine's ability to do things in his day-to-day life?
Yes.
How so?
He has trouble with processing, and he has receptive and expressive language disorder. The left side of his face is paralyzed. His left ear was closed permanently because the back, I guess, from what I heard at the doctor's appointment.
Objection, hearsay? Let's see what you observed.
What I observed?
Or what you've observed in
What I've
knowing-
observed is his left ear is closed permanently.
Okay. And he can't hear out of that left ear?
Correct.
As a result of this, is he not allowed to play like physical sports?
He cannot play tackle football.
Okay. Other than all that, though, he is still progressing and going through school normally and as any other child would?
He's below a little, but he's moving through.
Okay. I could have one moment, Your Honor. How about his hand? How is his hand at this point?
His finger stopped growing. They fused it, and so it stopped growing. And so when he writes, he has to take often breaks. He writes like this so that he doesn't have to lay his finger on whatever surface he's writing on.
Okay, and you did this, when you just did this, and for the record, you lifted up the pinky and you held the fingers and the thumb kind of together like you're holding something, but with the pinky still out.
Correct,
All
because
right.
he has sensitivity issues.
And you did that with your right hand, so he's right-handed.
He's right-handed.
Okay. right, Judge, I'll pass the witness at this
All
time.
right. Cross.
Good afternoon, Ms. Romeo.
Good afternoon.
So you are married to Shirley's brother,
Correct.
and you said you've known her from the time she was 3, and then there was a time that you and your husband were not together, and then you got back together and had contact with her after that.
Correct.
So it sounds like Shirley's siblings are older than her.
Yes.
Okay, and do they have a nickname that they call her?
Princess.
And is that the reason why you were saying that you all are not typically close, is because your husband is kind of like the big brother, almost like a father figure to her?
Yes.
Okay. And she hangs out with China, right, sometimes?
I've seen it.
Okay.
Yes.
And China is related how?
She's Marlene's daughter.
Okay. So she is technically Shirley's niece, right?
Yes.
But are they in a closer age range?
I mean, closer than me and Shirley.
Okay, closer than your husband and Shirley and you and Shirley, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you all got together on the 29th of August for Marlene's birthday dinner,
Correct.
and that was at Ruth Chris?
Yes.
Who organized that?
I don't know.
Okay. And did you all also have a bigger family celebration the day before for Marlene's birthday?
Yes.
Okay, and that was her actual birthday, right?
No.
Her actual birthday was on the birthday dinner?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, it sounds like there were less people kind of invited to the dinner part of it.
It would seem so.
Okay. Is that what you remember during that time? That there were less
I
people
don't
at
remember
that
everybody
dinner?
I saw the day before.
Okay. So you said it was you, your husband, Marlene, obviously, her boyfriend, and then some other couples, China, and also Shirley was there.
Correct.
And you didn't see how Shirley left, but you believe that she rode with China because they both kind of left at the same time.
I believe so.
Okay, but you didn't see him get in a car or anything like that.
I don't recall.
And nothing unusual going on that night, celebrating, typical dinner.
Correct.
Did Shirley seem to be in any kind of distress that evening?
No.
So the next day, when you find out anything happened, is when you went to the hospital?
That's correct.
Okay. If I could have one moment. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Call your next witness.
State called China Gadson.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, ma'am.
You can come this way. Good afternoon. If you would, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
I'm China Gadson, China, and my last name Gadson, Gadsden.
And Ms. Gadsden, where are you currently living?
Tampa, Florida.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm a home aide.
Okay. Do you know the defendant, Jermaine Bass?
Yes.
How do you know him?
Through my aunt,
Who's your aunt?
Shirley.
Okay. Are you and Shirley close?
Yes.
Okay. Are you all kind of almost in the same age, even though she's your aunt? You all are similar age range?
Yeah, we're like 6 years apart.
Okay. And so you and your aunt would go out from time to time?
Yeah.
All right. Would you see the defendant from time to time?
Yeah, like family events.
Okay. Do you know their children, Jayla and Jermaine?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember the night they were shot?
Yes.
Where were you that night?
I was at home in my apartment.
Okay. Prior to being at home in your apartment, were you did you do anything else earlier in the evening?
Like that night we went out to Ruth Chris, a restaurant.
Ruth Chris, and that's over in the West Shore area, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How did you get to Ruth's Chris?
Well, my aunt Shirley, she picked me up and we drove there together
Okay. Where did she pick you up?
at my apartment
Where was your apartment back then?
on Bruce B. Downs, Lane Bears.
So you were relatively close to where she was living at the time as well?
Yes.
Okay. When she picked you up, was it just her?
Yes.
It was just the two of you in the car?
Yeah, it's just the two of us.
All right, you did not see Jermaine?
No.
Okay. How was she when she picked you up?
She was normal.
Okay. Did you all go straight to the restaurant?
Yes.
You say her demeanor was normal. Did she appear upset, worried, anything like that?
No, not worried, not upset.
She just seemed her normal self.
Yeah, just normal.
Okay. How was the dinner?
It was fun.
Everyone got along?
Yes.
Was Jermaine at the dinner at all?
No.
Did you ever see him come into Ruth's Chris or any time inside at Ruth's Chris?
No.
Okay. Who all was there? Do you remember?
It was my mom and then.
And your
her-
mom is Marlene, correct?
Yes, Marlene. Her boyfriend, Tyson, my uncle and aunt, and then my other aunt, Shirley, and I don't know the other couple that came.
All right. What was Shirley's behavior like at dinner?
It was normal, like we all had a good time.
All right. Did anyone overdrink too much?
No,
All right. Do you recall how much Shirley might have had to drink?
we just had like one glass, and that was it.
Okay. When it came time when the dinner was over, what did you all do?
When the dinner was over, like we left and went home.
Okay. Shirley drove in her car. What kind of car did Shirley have?
The white Mercedes Benz.
Okay. Now you said she drove you there. Who left? Who drove back?
I drove back
Why did you drive back?
because that was like a normal thing for us to do. Like if I wanted to drive, she was okay with that.
Okay.
Like we carpooled together.
All right. It wasn't any particular reason. It wasn't because she was drinking too much or anything like that.
No.
All right. You just wanted to drive back.
Yeah.
All right. As you were leaving Ruth's Chris, did anything unusual happen after you left?
Yes.
What was that?
It was when we saw her like husband get out the car, like on the entryway.
Okay, prior to him getting out of the car, you were driving. Did you notice anything about any driver behind you?
Yeah. Like oh yeah, when we first left the restaurant, like
Yes.
there was the white truck like tailgating us.
Okay, when you say tailgating, meaning he was very close to you? The truck was
Yeah.
very close to you? Did it concern you?
Yeah, because I didn't know who that was.
Did it feel aggressive?
Yes.
Objection, speculation, or roll.
I'm sorry, you can answer that. Did it feel aggressive?
Yes.
Okay. And as the car was tailgating you, what did you do? Were you getting concerned?
Yes. I was like, what was that? Like, who was that behind us? And I just thought it was like some crazy random guy because I wasn't sure at the time until like I saw him get out the car.
Okay, so you didn't recognize his car at that point?
No.
Okay. And you said, so you left Bruce Chris, so you would, to get on the interstate, you would turn right and head down towards the interstate?
Yes.
And that's when the car was following you in that manner?
Yes.
All right. And then as you turn onto the entrance ramp onto the interstate, what happened?
Like we were like a distance or like about 2.5 cars, but it was like no cars in front of us. And then I stopped to like keep my distance because I wasn't sure what was going on. Like he stopped traffic and then got out the car and went over to my side because he probably thought she was driving, but it was me. And
Okay,
he
wait,
asked,
let's slow down a little second, okay?
Yeah.
So he was tailgating you, you pull onto that entrance ramp. How does he get in front of you? What happens?
he like goes in front of us, like around us, and then stops, like, because it was only one lane to get up the entrance ramp.
Okay. And so he goes around you all and stops the truck.
Correct.
And you said you didn't get too close.
Yes.
Because at that time, did you know who was in that truck?
No.
Okay. And what did you see happen after you stopped the car, the Mercedes, and who got out of that truck?
It was Jermaine.
Okay. And what did Jermaine do when he got out of that truck?
He went to the car, like the driver's side, which was my side, and he was asking like a few questions to her.
Okay. And do you recall what he said to her?
Yeah, he just asked like, was she drunk and why does she have me driving?
Okay. And how did Shirley react to that?
Like she just like brushed it off, I guess. Like,
Okay. Did she seem upset by it or anything?
No.
Okay. What did he do after asking those particular questions, like, was she drunk while you're driving? What happened then?
Like I guess he just went back to his car and it was like that was it. It happened really fast.
Okay, and then did he drive away from that point on?
Yes.
All right. And what did you do at that point?
I just kept driving and I was like, whoa, like that was crazy.
You said that was crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. That was not typical, right?
No.
Okay. Did you drive back to your house at that point?
Yes.
How was Shirley on the drive back?
She was normal. Like,
Okay. And she dropped you off?
yes.
Okay, and then she left, and I guess assumed she went home, correct?
Correct.
All right. When did you hear about what happened with Jayla and Jermaine?
The next morning, like around 8.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor. All right, Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
Hi, Ms. Gadson.
Hi.
Now, Marlene is your mom, right?
Yes.
And you all went out to Ruth Chris back in August of 2022 to celebrate her birthday.
Yes.
The day before, did you all also have a family get-together to celebrate your mom's birthday?
Yes.
Okay. So this get-together at Ruth Chris, who put that on?
I'm not sure. I don't recall.
Okay. Was it a last-minute kind of surprise dinner for her?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember when Shirley got invited to it?
No.
All right. But you ended up riding with Shirley
Yeah.
to the dinner? Is that regular that you guys would kind of ride together sometimes?
Yeah.
And it sounds like it was about 8 of you all there at the dinner that evening?
Yeah.
Nothing unusual was going on, right?
No.
She didn't seem like she was in a rush to get home or anything like that?
No.
You all were able to celebrate your mom and have a good time at the dinner that night?
Yes.
Now, she was driving a Mercedes. Was this a nice car that she was driving?
Yes.
Was it new?
Yes.
And was it just the two of you in the car?
Yes, just the two of us.
Okay, and so when you start to drive home, you're going to your house, right?
Yes.
And so she's letting you drive the car to your apartment. You were going to get dropped off, and then she was going to go home from there.
Yes.
Is that an area that you're familiar with over there in the West Shore area?
Yes, because I've like been in Tampa my whole life.
Okay, and you've been over there for other things at times?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you drove to leave out of Ruth Chris, how did you get to where you were going?
Like with her car.
Yes.
Yeah, with her car.
How were you driving? What route did you take?
Oh, like West Shore Boulevard and I-4, or not I-4, like I-275.
Okay. And you're getting on 275 North?
Yes,
And so when you go and you get on 275 North, you said there's kind of a ramp to get on or an entrance way to get onto there?
yes,
And it's one way?
yes.
And is it more than one lane?
No,
So you see this car where you said a white truck, right?
yes.
And you said that that truck stops. Where
Yes.
does the truck stop?
Like on the entryway, like in front of us.
Okay, on the same entryway that you're driving on, this car or this truck stops in front of you and somebody gets out of it, and you're saying that that's Jermaine, right?
Yes,
And approaches your car or Shirley's car that you're driving.
yes,
Okay. And you're saying that he comes to the driver's side and he asks Shirley if she had been drinking and kind of why isn't she driving her own car, right?
yes, exactly.
Do you ever see any kind of weapon?
No,
Does Shirley answer him?
I don't remember.
Okay, you described it as Shirley just kind of brushes it off.
Yeah,
And then he goes back to his truck and he drives off?
yes.
Do you ever see the truck again?
Like later in the years, yeah.
Okay, but not that night?
Yeah, not that night.
Okay, no other contact with Jermaine that night?
No,
Was anyone trying to get by you guys when this is happening?
no, they like all stopped.
Everybody stops?
Yeah, like all the cars that was behind us.
Okay, is anyone honking,
No,
yelling, getting mad that you all are stopping this traffic going on to 275?
no, it's like everyone seen it happen, like how he went around us
Okay.
aggressively.
And you said that Shirley didn't seem upset by any of that.
No,
When you start to drive, you get to your apartment, right?
yes,
Does Shirley stay with you?
no, like she goes home after, she drops me off.
Okay, so she wasn't worried about going home.
No,
And you say later the next morning is when you hear about anything happening with the children.
yeah,
Okay. You don't talk to detectives, law enforcement, until over a year later when they interview you, is that right?
yes,
It wasn't until October of 2023 that you finally speak to them.
yes.
If I could have one moment. Nothing further.
No rewrite, Your Honor.
All right, you can step down, ma'am, thank you. She released from her subpoena?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Approach the bench. We are going ahead and recess for the day, same admonition you always get, no discussion about the case, no coming to any definite or fixed or final opinions on what you've heard thus far. Have a safe trip home, a nice evening, and I will see you back here tomorrow, 8:45, meet the bailiffs. All rise.